Hey everybody, I'm back again. I'm just setting things up, making it is connected on all of the different avenues. We might do something a little bit different than refueling and carrier ops this time around. Maybe we'll do some bombing or something. And if you guys have anything that you'd like me to play around with, by all means, let me know. That means I should run that as well. Go. All good to go. Awesome. Guys closed up. We'll get going. Reset the view. There we go. Move my chat over to the kneeboard side on my right. Should make it a little easier to track, and it won't obscure anything over there on the left-hand side. There's not really much that I need over here on the right. So that should work better. Let's go ahead and get some weapons loaded in here. Does anybody have anything that they want me to specifically take a look at or do? Let's change to VFC 12, which is always fun. Do full fuel and no fuel tanks. We'll do some sidewinders. I want to put on, I guess I'll put the AMRAMs on as well. 120Cs. Let's take a lightning pod. Is that on 7 or is that on 4? I'll lose a missile. I get the lightning pod. We'll do some GBU 12s. Laser guided bombs. We'll do am I not seeing the oh, there they go. AGM-65E, which is the laser one. And on the middle, what should I take? I'll take a pair of unguided bombs in the middle. Should be good. Gun ammo type is fine. And we're good to go.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
Refueled and rearmed. So, I ran away for a second. I went and got some dinner. I'm in the middle of making some sourdough bread as well, so I got the sourdough bread all folded in on itself, and I shouldn't have to go and look at that for another couple of hours, which is nice. Makes things a little bit easier. Refueling complete. They should be putting on my weapons now. Ordnance. While I'm waiting on that, I'm going to check one thing. How's everybody else's evening going tonight? Video. Um... Cool, man. Yeah, I was happy to join you for a beer day. National Beer Day. That's always a fun day. I had a Waldo, and I also had a Space Dust by, I think it's Elysium. They did good. Gaming, public, title, it's world. Cool. Be good, and then let me just double check on Twitch and make sure that that's all set up. They've got all the weapons loaded. We should be good to go.
Card, yeah, very cute. I'm gonna grab. It's like a buffet cart. Like
oh, Twitch, stop autoplaying. I've been doing good, man. As I'm sure you know, the real estate industry kind of sucks right now. It's a little bit slow, but that's fine. You know, you kind of plan around stuff like this happening. And let's see. Other than that, yeah, just making sure my garden's all set up. Keep trying new beer. Right now, I'm doing a lot of live streaming to kind of help people feel more connected and, you know, entertained, and hopefully, since I love cooking so much, I can kind of pass on some of that stuff to people who might not cook all that much. So tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific time, we'll be doing another one, cooking eggs, so breakfast for dinner. And then that one's actually going to go pretty quick, so depending on how much time that takes, I may also make a grilled cheese sandwich similar to the one that I posted on Instagram. Just to show how to do that. It's pretty simple, but, you know, demonstrations are always fun, and it's always great to get online and get to actually chat with people who are friends and family, and even just random people on the internet. It's always a lot of fun. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Just trying to keep myself and anybody that I know in good spirits, considering the situation and the circumstance. It's really hard because, you know, we're supposed to still be generating business. You can't stop doing business because of pandemic, but it's really hard to do it and still be sensitive. Like, we don't do it to, you know, just make a bunch of money. We're out trying to help people in whatever they need, but unfortunately, it's really hard to do any kind of advertising or marketing or anything without seeming insincere. And so that's what a lot of us are kind of dealing with. So actually, one of the things that I'm thinking about is getting somebody to come, like, figuring out how to get Zoom set up so that I can do like a split screen and have, you know, 1, 2, 3, or 4 people cooking with me. The idea is that people are going to be cooking live as I'm cooking. Like, you get the ingredients, and then I start cooking. You can ask questions as we go. It's supposed to be kind of a collaborative thing. I think people are just enjoying watching, which is also fine, because I don't mind cooking for people or cooking, you know, to demonstrate to people. But the original idea, Gordon Ramsay started it 5-ish years ago, and he had a show called Cook Along Live, and it was the same kind of thing. He would give you the ingredients a week in advance, and then the expectation was that you would join and try and cook along with him, and he'd always have guests on the show. Obviously, in this climate, I'm not going to invite anybody over. But that being said, it would be fun to get somebody in on Zoom or something like that. You know, even if it's a guest appearance by somebody, just to pop on and, like, for you, even if you didn't want to cook, I could have you pop on and start doing beer pairings with some of the stuff that I make and say, hey, you know what? The steak that we did a couple weeks ago or last week, you could say, this would be great with just a regular Lagunitas IPA, or Supercluster would actually go really good with it too. And so we could do something like that. Like, I do want to get people involved. It's not supposed to be all about me. I'm just kind of, I want to be the vehicle behind it and then, you know, bring other people into it as well. Yeah, exactly. And I remember, you know, right at the beginning, I said, I made a post about, you know, helping people, and a couple people commented saying, just stay the heck home, because right now, you know, why would you want to go out? And, you know, I wasn't even trying to get people to go out. It was just like, you know, real estate's still going. We had a marketing meeting on Tuesday. We had something like 20 or 25 new listings just from, you know, basically the beginning of the month till now. And that's in a pandemic. So the market's still moving, but it's really hard to not seem disingenuous when you bring that up, because people are like, well, who's going to buy a house right now? And it's like, there are people who need to move. It doesn't stop just because we're supposed to stay at home. So I totally feel you with the distributor thing. I'm actually kind of surprised, because I would have expected that the beer and alcohol sales would actually have gone up, because a lot of people are, you know, making meme posts about getting drunk all the time, or, you know, it's 3 o'clock, I'm gonna it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? 3 o'clock in the morning, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. But it does make sense. It is definitely an interesting time to be in sales. I didn't want to call you out, but if you called yourself out, I will let you call yourself out on that one. But yeah, like, I'm not meeting anybody at a house. If somebody's like, I need to go out and see a house, if the house is vacant, okay, I'll show you the house. If there are people living there, nope, sorry. We'll find a different day. After all of this pandemic stuff is done, we'll consider it. And yeah, that's why I made that post about, hey, you know, who would be willing to buy a house without seeing it? Because we're not really even supposed to show houses unless the house is vacant. If the house is vacant, we can go. We still have to maintain social distancing. We have to make sure that, like, we wipe down things that people have touched, just to, you know, make sure that we're not leaving anything there behind. And yet, you know, there are still a lot of realtors who aren't really heeding that advice, which is unfortunate. All right, so we got the lights on. Flaps are set to half. Everything else is set all good. Wings are locked. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. I don't like going to stores any more than anybody else. A lot of the stuff that I'm making here at home, I already have the ingredients, or I'm going super early to try and avoid crowds. Oops, I did not get my screen set up. Let me get this set up to FCS, and I know that I'm rolling, and I can see it in my peripheral vision. Get this to the HUD. I'm rolling to the right. HUD repeater, there we go. All good, and I'll change the map once I get airborne. And we're up. Gear up. Passing through our notice altitude. I get my flaps set to auto, because I don't need takeoff flaps anymore. Yeah, man, the market's weird. Everything's weird. I'm doing as much as I can to stay home with the garden, with the cooking. Like I said at the beginning, I'm working on a sourdough. I've never made sourdough before, so it's a totally new experience for me. Really, really weird. Not a bad thing, just not quite what I expected. The dough is super wet, and that's not what I was expecting at all. Like, I've even seen people make it, and my dough seems like it's way more wet, and I'm not sure if that's going to be an issue, but we'll see. We'll see how it ends up working. If the dough comes out, it's going to be the toast that I make my or pair with my eggs tomorrow. And if the if the bread doesn't come out, then I'm just going to have to run to a store or something and pick some bread up. All right, let's see. I want to get my FLIR is on standby. Laser is there. I'm going to turn the FLIR on. Everything else down there looks good. We're going to turn our strobes off. And formation lights and other lights off. Climb to 10,000. And we'll turn in on our targets, which are over in this direction. We'll go ahead and switch to air-to-ground mode, get our master armed, and go to our FLIR page, and we'll let that warm up. Got 9,600 pounds of fuel, so this should be good to employ our weapons. There's a target range over here that just has empty vehicles on it. That's what we're going to be attacking this evening. Once we're done attacking, we will go and rejoin with the carrier, land, and refuel. Possibly rearm. Or maybe I'll just go refuel again, air-to-air refuel. So when we turn on our forward-looking infrared camera, targeting pod, you have to let it warm up for a little bit. It's got about a 3-minute warm-up period, so we're just going to sit out here and circle while that happens. We're at 9,700 feet. I'm going to climb back up to 10,000. Yeah, starter itself is actually pretty easy to make. It's just flour and water, and if you use whole wheat flour or like a rye flour, it has more natural bacteria in it. It's very similar to making a wild beer, like a sour. You're just going to be, letting the natural yeasts kind of infect the dough that you have, and you just got to keep it fed. You just add a little bit more flour every day, and you're good to go. And then it just kind of, like every day, it'll grow and fall, and if you feed it right when it gets to the peak of growing, you're feeding the healthiest culture of starter, and it basically just takes a week until it's ready. I've been working on mine for about 2 weeks. I have a friend who is really into bread making. I don't know if Tyler's watching, but if Tyler happens across this stream and watches for a bit, he makes really, really good bread, and so I asked him if he could donate some of his starter to mine, and so he gave me a little bit of his. I'm trying to think of the right word for it, and I just kept it going. So it's been pretty awesome. Smells amazing. Smells great. I'm sure it's going to taste awesome as long as it rises the way that it's supposed to. And I saw the FLIR was working, so we should be able to target things. So let's start with our Mavericks. And laser code is 1111. Let me switch the code to 1688, which I believe is the default. Those are both set to 1688. Arm the laser, code is 1688, so we should be good to go. Now, our target range is right over here. In this general direction. Should be right here, and there we go. locked on him, and... I don't remember how to uncage the Maverick to go and chase this. Oh, I guess I gotta hit it with a laser first. Nope, that wasn't it. Well, tell you what, we'll get this locked on to a target here first.
Altitude. Altitude.
And then we'll climb and try and figure out the Maverick. Now, one of these is going to uncage it so that it'll lock on. I'm not sure what the button is. I guess we could go check the controls. Those controls. We'll go up here to search, and we'll do uncage. Joy button 12 on the HOTAS. It's not you, it's not you. So I can actually push all the buttons on the joystick, and what'll happen is it will light up when I hit it, but I'm not seeing it. I'll just hit C, I guess. That'll uncage it. Hey, Roland, how's it going, man? Yeah, Roland, I love the A-18. So the A-18 is my favorite plane of all time, and mostly because of the Blue Angels. I've been going to flight shows forever, and the flight model in the game seems very... I don't know if it's accurate, but it does seem very fluid. Very, very fun. Awesome, Nate. Thank you, sir. You have a good one. I'll see you next time. Yeah, see that? Is interesting. That just recentered there, bore-sided the TGP, which is not what I wanted. Unless I have to reselect the HUD or the left MFD. Oh, see, that does it too. LTDR, LTD arm. There's the laser. There's P-track. Well, weapons release? No. Well, we'll try again. Again, I haven't played in a while, so getting used to all the controls and everything again takes a bit when you're not ready. I do a lot of carrier landings. I do a lot of aerial refueling because those are the fun parts of the game. So I generally forget how to employ weapons. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the super carrier with the animated deck crew, the fully realized radios. for air traffic control. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Master arm, air to ground. Maverick is selected. We're on the right laser code. We've got the laser code down there. That's correct. Got the laser set to trigger. Let's roll out on target. Let's zoom out. Let's find the airfield again. Here we go. Pull our engines to idle. Let's zoom in on this. Let's pick you. Let's change this to point track. Okay.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yep, that's weird. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Let's switch to the laser-guided bombs. These guys are off, and mode auto and fuse. Inst. And your laser code needs to be added, so we'll go UFC 1688. Do code. You're set to 1688, and I'll step to the other side. We'll click code. We'll do 1688 as well. Both of those are set to the right laser code. I'm the only one on this particular map, which is why I'm just using the defaults. If you were on a map that had other players, you would want to coordinate your codes. Otherwise, you could be interfering with each other. We should be good on those. Hey, look, we're right over an airfield. I believe that's Caboletti. Rolling in on target. We'll line up the vertical line here in the HUD with our velocity vector. One and pickle. Bombs away on the right side. I'm not seeing the laser firing. Well, I guess it did. There goes the target. Have to figure out those Mavericks. Awesome, CJ. Have a great one. You have a good night, and I will see you soon. Swing by tomorrow if you want to cook eggs. It's going to be fun. Breakfast for dinner. You got a refueling jet up there. KC-135, I believe. That was a terrible turn. Go for you next. We got 12 seconds to release here. 1 second and pickle. And it went. "19 seconds timed impact." I'm not seeing where the laser is indicating that it's firing. Oh, yes, I do. Boom. No, I guess maybe I don't. Interesting. Alright, Mav, let's see if we can figure you out. We can pick which Maverick we want to fire here. We can change the code with UFC. We've already done all that. That's all set up. Air to ground, arm. Clear. We're on point track, which is fine. Mark. Trig should automatically fire the laser. I'm sorry, Trig changes the laser whether it's armed or not when you pull the trigger. Thanks, Roland. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of space. And let's try this again. You are sensor of interest. Let's zoom in on this guy. Oh, I am zoomed in all the way. Laser arm, laser thing. Now what I want is for the laser, is to uncage my Maverick, but C is not doing that. C is bore sighting my point track. That is super annoying. Let's figure this out again. Adjust controls. No. Should be C, and C is not doing it. Alright, let's get out of here. What does this button do? This button is not bound, although it is recentering my view. See if C is bound more than once. No, I don't want to search. Go away. I want to go to all. There we go. Joy button 3 is undesignate. Weapon release. Gun trigger. What's this? Sensor control left, sensor control right. Forward, aft. Okay, so those are all right. Radar elevation, radar down. Control stick hide show. Alright. Autopilot. That's not what I want. Cage uncage. There's only one C. Joy button 12. Which one is joy button 12? Elevation control. Rudder right, rudder left. TDC. ATC. Engage, disengage. What other buttons are there? Okay, so that wasn't really working either. It should be this. This should be cage uncage, and it's not uncaging. Your gear up and down. Your master reset. Those are all the buttons that I've got. Very interesting. Might just not be able to use the Mavericks today. I've got you. I can switch this to the main sensor here. It's not caging or uncaging the Maverick. Actually, turn my map off. There we go. So... and that's still you. Interesting. I don't know what the Maverick Uncage button is. Does anybody else know what the Maverick Uncage button is by chance? Until I figure that out, I'm just going to come over here to my unguided bombs, and we'll use these. I'll set these guys on mode auto. Oops, I want you on off, and I want you on instant. And if nothing else, we've got it designated so we know where we're going. And then see, this should... Okay, so that worked. And you'll notice the weapon release line is over here to the... Oh, are you in CCRP still? That's not what I want. Do CCIP. There we go. Yeah, CCRP was lining me back up with the drop line. Not quite what I wanted. I'm not responding to texts at the moment. Well, it's gonna be good. We're gonna get good carrier practice here. Running low on fuel, trying to figure these Mavericks out. I come back over to the Mav page. Got data. Doesn't do anything. Go see what we've already done. Tone. Doesn't do anything. What do you do? I bet this is going to do it. There we go. Alright, now we'll get the Mavericks to work. I had to switch to the Mav screen. Doi! I thought that since they were laser Mavericks, we didn't have a Maverick screen. How wrong I was! Alright, I'm going to start a little bit of a descent. You are still under. Let's see if I can make you point track. I want it to be you. And then we'll come over here to uncage, clicky clicky. And we are locked. And rifle. There we go. Boom. Good effect on target. We'll zoom out again and we'll come over to... Nope. Occluded by the wing. Or the body of the plane, I guess. I'll just pick you. And we'll come back for another pass. Oops, what happened there? Switched the wrong weapon. Kabulati. We will do a wide circle around you. I should be turning left, because then at least I could put the target range off my left wing, which is where the targeting pod is, and I'd have a bit of a longer amount of time to kind of get locked up. We'll reduce our throttle and start a slight dive. You're on point track, you're good. Oops.
Altitude. Altitude.
And we'll have to come back around, we're too close now. This is just a fail night. Fail weapons employment. I should come out and blow things up more often instead of just flying. Oh well, can't complain too much. Alright, turn back on target here. Maverick's in range and locked, and rifle. There we go. I will turn to my right so that I can watch it impact without it being occluded by the wing. And good kill. Alright, now let's switch to our unguided bombs. CCIP, and I think we're good to go on those. This is back into auto, which is not what I want. I want mode to be CCIP. Alright, so it's not going to let me do CCIP. Interesting. Hey, Jocelyn. This is a Valve Index. And thanks, Robert. Good to see you, man. How's things going? I do not want this to be auto. I don't want anything to be locked. I want this to be CCIP. Maybe if I cycle master off, turn off air to ground mode, and turn it back on. Nope. Well, either way, I gotta go land. Got 2,600 pounds of fuel left, which is not gonna last me very long. So, go ahead and get our TACAN on. Leave it 74 X-ray for the boat. We'll do TACAN repeater. There we go, Stennis is this way, 24.1 miles. I'm going to go ahead and reduce my throttle and descend at a fairly quick pace here. We are feet wet, which means over the water. Get my hook down. Yeah, Jocelyn, no wonder. No worries. Here's the Stennis boat group over here. This is the aircraft carrier that we're going to be landing on. Make sure our lights are off. Strobes are off. Hook is down. I'm going to turn anti-skid to off. We're going to turn our landing light off. And we should be good to go. So we're going to try and go right next to the boat, right around 300 to 350 knots at about 800 feet. We're going to pretend that we've been cleared direct into the pattern for landing, since we're so low on fuel. I'm going to check my brake controls real quick and see if this is bound.
Altitude.
Flare dispense. That's not what I want. Where's my speed brake? Is joy button 9. It's not that one. I don't know what that is. I don't know which one 9 is. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna make this extend. I'm gonna make this retract. All right, cool. There we go. All right, let's get us a little bit more airspeed here. Let's get cleaned up here. I should be running a checklist, but it's really hard to look at stuff when you are in VR. Might be nice to get like a virtual kneeboard or something. I believe the carrier is base recovery course 330. So I'm going to fly this way a little bit until the little vertical tick mark up at the top there that's underneath the heading tape gets to about 330, maybe a little bit to the left of 330, and then I'm going to turn on 330, and that will basically have me paralleling the carrier's course. We'll both be going 330, but it'll be a little bit to my left. I could set it up on the HSI, but I'm lazy. All right, down to 800 feet. 338, let's speed up closer to 350. A little bit of throttle, 800 feet. And carrier deck looks clear. Aircraft are parked. But we should be good. Throttle to idle. Speed brake out. Once my speed gets down to 265, gear's going to come down, flaps are going to go full. Gear down, flaps full. Now I'm going to let my speed bleed off just a little bit more. I know that 130-ish is about where I want to be, so right as I get there, I'm going to increase my throttle so that I can put the velocity vector, which is that little mini plane in the middle of the HUD, into that E-bracket. And I'm going to take a look at the carrier, and I'm right about where I want to be. That's a bit too much sync rate there. Get on speed, and now all I'm doing is banking the plane. I shouldn't have to use pitch. I can use power to control my descent rate. Got gear down and indicated. Flaps are full down. Nope, I don't want to climb. Reduce power. Hook is down. Stop climbing. Talking to the plane always works. Always works. Because you're really just talking to yourself. Okay. Bit too tight of a turn. We might end up going around anyway. I'm just going to go around. I'll do another pass. Getting super light because I have no fuel. So the lighter you are, the slower generally you're going to need to go to stay, keep yourself in the air. And the slower you go, the tighter you can turn. And so I don't need very much bank when I'm over there on final. Or even just to maintain altitude here. All right, so I'm a mile in front. This is not my prettiest carrier landing. Don't judge me.
Fuel low.
Thank you, Betty. This would be embarrassing if I end up in the water. I haven't not trapped on a carrier in a long time, actually. Alright, 770. Shallow up my turn. This is downwind enough, I think. I'm a little far from the boat, too. Maybe by using that boat as a reference, I'm actually not doing myself a favor. Ooh, boy. This guy really wants to balloon. There we go. 1.2 on downwind. I want to be about 600 feet. So I don't want to climb. I want to descend. There we go. Let's catch our descent here just a little bit. That looks good. Beam the back of the boat. Let's start our turn. I just want a shallowish turn. I still want to keep working it down. Working it down. Got the ball, 1.5. Probably a little low. Very low. I didn't have the ball, I had the little radar dish above the ball. Woo! Come on. Oop, missed it.
Fuel low.
Thank you, Betty. Getting a little nervous here. Alright, 800 feet. We'll level off. Not worry about the E-bracket here. Let it catch me. We'll start our turn back. Crosswind for the downwind. Alright, a little bit of power here. Stay right around 800 feet. Send just a little bit here, down to 600. Probably should already be at 600. Descend, damn you. All right. It's better to be a little bit high because it's easier to correct than it is to be a little low because it's harder to climb. Still low. And off center. Come on, up, up, up. And work it down, work it down, work it down. Too steep, too steep, too steep. Sink rate. Oof. No bueno, guys, no bueno. Really funny because earlier I was air-to-air refueling and nailed it on the first pass and was just like, oh yeah, air-to-air refueling is way easier than or way harder than landing on the carrier. Now I can't land on the carrier. It's not used to being this light. All right, 670. We're abeam the back of the boat. Let's start our turn. Gentle descent. Hook is down. Here we go. Straighten out, reduce power. On the ball, here we go, and got it. Don't know which wire I caught, but let's check. Oof. 4-wire, or yeah, skipping across the deck probably. Not cool. All right. Get our flaps set up. And we'll go high gain steering and move over here to the right.
Fuel low. Fuel low.
Yeah, 730 pounds. That's pretty low. Alright, we'll get all set up here. Let's get some new stuff on here. So we figured out these. Don't know why this didn't go back into CCIP mode. Let's do a bunch of A120s. Oops. Don't want the Bs. Yeah, we'll take some Mavericks. Let's refuel.
Request refueling. Request rearming. Copy.
Oh, hey, Carson. Yeah, man, thank you. Thank you. I had a lot of fun putting that together. It's like 8 years old at this point. At the time, I had a bunch of friends that I was getting into DCS, and so I wanted to put them together for them. And it had the side effect, the added benefit of being accessible to a lot of people. So I'm very happy that those got put up. And in between putting those on YouTube and now, I got my private pilot license, so I have a little bit more real-world understanding of what I'm doing instead of just, talking about a video game, which was quite the adventure. A lot of fun. As you can see, our fuel right here is being refueled. And then once they're done refueling us, we will get weapon rearming. Then we'll go take out a couple more ground targets. We'll do some air-to-air as well. And nothing that I'm doing is, like standard operating procedure. I'm not a military pilot, not a former military pilot. I 100% play DCS for fun. And it's been a while since I have done any kind of engagements in the A-18, which is why I'm a bit rusty. I generally do pretty well with carrier landing, so I'm kind of surprised that I'm having so much trouble tonight getting down on the boat. I'm usually pretty good about that. How's everybody else doing tonight? What are you guys up to? You guys, any good plans for the weekend? Anything going on, or any good news out of the coronavirus stuff? Hopefully none of you guys have it. That would not be fun. And is there anything specific you want me to see if I know how to do in the A-18 that I can show you while I'm out here in the ocean off the coast of Georgia? Let's see, 7,800, 8,000 pounds of fuel. I'm seriously super stoked for the super carrier. I think that's going to be a totally different experience. Obviously, this deck here looks pretty sparse, not very much on it. I mean, the eye candy I placed, I put a couple of planes down just so that it doesn't look empty. Yet there's no deck crew, there's no catapult people. I think it's going to be a totally different experience launching off of one of the new carriers. And coming in with the radio comms, with air traffic control, you know, bringing you into the boat. I'm super excited about that. Also, have any of you guys watched my cook-along lives? Are you guys enjoying those? I put those together more for family and friends and local clients and things like that, but hopefully they're entertaining to y'all as well.
Refueling complete.
I think it's just something that keeps people kind of together when, you know, we're kind of forced to stay at home.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Yeah, Dave, I can definitely buzz the tower. Once they finish rearming me. Alright, we got our AMRAMs. We should have a Maverick going in on that pylon over there. And sidewinders are already there. Rearming complete.
Rearming complete.
Sweet. We'll get our wings down. We'll keep our wings up because we're not on the catapult yet. Let's go ahead and get this to our HUD repeater. This is flight FCS. Anti-skid is off on the carrier. Lights are off on the carrier. Make sure we're not going to clip his nose. It's a pretty nose. Would hate to have it repaired. We don't even have to go that far over. Here we go. Alright, we'll get our master caution cleared here. All good. Let's do an exterior and make sure we're on the catapult, which we're not yet. Alright, we'll get our wings down, unfolded. And we will get our hook down. And get hooked up with the catapult. And I believe we are ready for takeoff. We'll retract our launch bar. I know I pushed in the wing unfold switch too early. You're supposed to, I think, wait 5 seconds after the wings finish unfolding before you push it in, otherwise you damage a transmission gear. Oop, whoop, 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 whoop. Set our flaps, and we will retrim here for our heavier load. Very good, very good. Alright, now we should be clear for takeoff. Mill power, and off we go. We'll climb to 500 feet again. I'll go ahead and set my flaps to auto and get my gear up. Rookie mistake forgetting to raise the landing gear. Busted through my 500 feet, so that's good. All right, so I know that there are some Strela anti-air tanks or vehicles or whatever you want to call them somewhere nearby here. I believe it's this inlet. Might be the other inlet. I think it's the other inlet. Let's go this way. So I'm going to go ahead and... Did I seriously put Mavericks on here and not bring a FLIR laser pod? I think I did. So, never mind that. Tell you what, let's take out the air targets first. Oh, did DCS just crash? Not yet. Yep, there we go, DCS crashed. Thanks, DCS. Was this about an hour too? Last time it was right at an hour. No, this time is an hour and 14 minutes. Let's cancel that. I'll relaunch DCS here and we'll get back in the air. Nobody else has anything going on this weekend? No plans? Just gonna hang out at home, or you guys have any crafts that you guys want to work on? Is anybody else a streamer that I can follow or watch something cool that you're doing? I'll probably be playing some Alex this weekend, probably some more DCS. I think we've got a pretty good multiplayer. I don't want to say mission. We're basically going to be on the Caucasus map, just kind of playing around. That should be Saturday for us, Sunday if you're in Australia. There should be about anywhere from 7 to 10 of us online, though, so it should be fun. A lot of formation flying and other fun things. Yes, we good? You gonna work? You gonna work today? All right. Do multipass. Join my local server here. Oh, really? Did that reset to OBS instead of the window I had selected, huh? All right. There we go. We'll do switch window. I want this to be chat. That is gigantic. That's not what I want. I want you to be Windows settings. Smaller, smaller, smaller. That'll work. Okay. So I've got a pretty cool app called OVR Toolkit, which makes it so that I can pop up other windows. So when I so I can look at the chat in VR, because in VR you can't see anything outside your headset. The interesting thing is the server isn't crashing, it's just the game. So I wonder what on my computer is breaking it. Just going to do quick start. I don't want to deal with that. While I'm waiting for that, I will do my rearming. Let's go with a couple of Sidewinder X's. We'll do a fuel tank. We will do a lightning pod. 2 120Cs. We'll do a 7M. Do a 120C, 2 120Cs, and then over here we'll do our Mavericks. Air-to-ground missiles. We'll do... I don't know, should we do... Yeah, we'll do laser Mavericks. Cool. 2 Sidewinders, a Sparrow, and then 4 AMRAAMs, 2 Mavericks, and a fuel tank. So our mission today will be... We're going to go and take out a couple more things over on the target range. With the Mavericks, we will do some air-to-air patrol over in the north. Actually, you know what? We're going to go and see if we can find those anti-air Strellas. That'll be fun. Take those guys out with the Mavericks. And then we'll come back, and then we'll continue, and we'll do some air-to-air combat air patrol. There's some drones I know over to the north. Depending on our fuel state at that point, we can always refuel, do some air-to-air refueling, test that out, see if I can do it on one try again. Then we'll come back and land at Batumi.
Roll left.
Rearming complete.
Flight controls. Flight controls.
Or maybe we'll just do a fuel dump over the ocean and meet up with the carrier. Alright, so we are armed. I like that the Maverick there says laser on it. Laser Maverick. Makes it easy. Go ahead and get our formation lights on, position lights on. Our strobes are already on. Right. And then what we'll do is we'll get our FLIR on and warming up as soon as we take off. I should probably start live streaming missions, though, even if I get shot out of the sky, which is probably pretty likely. I think it would be fun to actually do some planning, flight planning. Would you guys be interested in me doing some, like, real-world flights, doing some mock flights in X-Plane? Oh, server's restarting in 20 minutes. Alright, let's scramble, and we'll see if we can go and quickly take out those Strellas. Nose wheel steering is on. We'll move this way. We'll set our light, taxi landing light on. Let's get our menus here set up. I want the map not on moving map. I want you to be a HUD repeater. Oh, I had the HUD repeater up. And I want this to be on my flight control system. I think that's what FCS stands for. I'm actually going to warm up my... I'll leave the FLIR. let's toggle the mirrors off. Oh, maybe I can't that way. There we go. Taxi runway 31 via Bravo. Final looks clear. Short final looks clear. We're going to cross the runway here, turn around, and line up at the end of the runway. And then as soon as we take off, I am going to start warming up my lantern pod. Final and short final still look clear. Give ourselves as much room as we can here at the end of the runway. There we go. And military power. Spooled up. Brakes released. .90 knots. Turn off our nose wheel steering. And rotate. Gear up. We're just going to go ahead and turn on target. Turn on course, I should say. Buzz the trees. Yes, I understand. I'm low. Get our flaps to auto, and we will head this way. Let's get our FLIR going. And once that warms up, we can get our laser going. So we'll go to FLIR page. We'll let that time out. Strellas are this direction. Let's get air to ground. Master mode on. Select our Mavericks. Let's change the laser code to our default, which is 1688 in this plane. I'm the only one on the server right now, so there's no reason to use any other code. Those are set. Click it again, we'll go to the Maverick page. This is what I was missing last time. This is in air-to-air mode, which is not what I want. I want you to go to FLIR. Still not timed out. We'll wait for that to happen. So there's our first target range over there. Abuleti. And then right at that inlet, to the right of that little estuary or lake or whatever you want to call it, there are ground targets. Let's switch to our barometric altimeter, including some anti-air Strellas. Strellas are radar-guided anti-air tanks, essentially. Vehicles. And they don't like us. They don't like us planes. They want to shoot us out of the sky. I don't know why. We're friendly. They didn't shoot first. We wouldn't bother them. All right. Are we good on that side? Are we good on that side? Yeah, we are. We're looking at the sky. All right. So the unfortunate thing about this game is there's no indication on the HUD of where your TGP is looking. So you kind of have to guess a little bit. So I'm just going to bore sight it. I'm going to point it at this little red dot, which is this guy right here. I believe I'm going to switch this to... Nope, it's not him.
Altitude. Altitude.
Really? 5,000 feet? You're going to tell me altitude? Yeah. Go back into wide view. I guess I can do this and lock and see where I'm locking. I want to be way more to the left. There we go. We'll set you into point track mode. We will lock on you. Switch over to you, my friend. And I don't have my laser on. Oop, he's firing. Because I am low. All right. We found him. He should still be underneath our lightning pod. When we turn back in, we should be able to engage. And there he is. Put you in point track mode again. Click. Maverick is locked. And rifle. Now I'm going to turn this way.
Altitude.
Boom. Good effect on target.
Altitude.
I'm going to go ahead and cage my Mavericks here. Or I guess I'm not, because it won't cage, which is fine, I guess. We'll go back to our TGP and we'll try and get that guy who is in the warehouses. Actually, I don't think he's going to bother anybody. I'm going to see if I can get that guy who's over in the clearing. I'll take him out. Climb a bit, fuel looks good. Ten-minute warning. All right. There we go. This guy fall down, go boom. There's the next Strela. Set this into point track. And we got the laser going. Maverick is in-ranged and locked. And looks clear, rifle. There we go. Same thing, I'm going to turn this way. Are you driving? No, that's just the tree in the way. Okay. I'm going to say, that's cute, he's trying to run. Boom! Alright, that's it for our air to ground. Let's switch to air to air. And let's do our AMRAMs. You know what, let's turn our data link on. We'll turn our IFF on. We'll hide our stick and we'll turn on our... Alright, we got some enemy aircraft at right about 40 nautical miles. We're in range while scan. I'm not quite sure how to use track while scan. Not sure if this auto bugs things for me or not. If you see that little arrow that's kind of unwinding towards that triangle on the right-hand side, once it gets to that triangle, we'll be in range. We should get a shoot cue here in a second. Maybe? Or maybe when it gets to the top? Within 20 nautical miles. Lost. There we go. Alright, box 3. Splash him. I know I can tag these guys. Box 3. Splash him. There goes our Sparrow. Switch to our Sidewinder here. Go at him, and we'll go at him. Splash 1, splash 2 in a second. And that's all the drones for tonight. Alright, server should be restarting real quick. See if we can make a landing pass.
Altitude.
Turn our master off. Get this down to our CS, and we'll do HUD over here again. We'll do TACAN on, 74 X-ray enter, that should be the Stennis. We'll do TACAN, repeater on the HUD, turn you on. And let's see if we can buzz the tower before the game restarts. <clears throat> 660 knots. Oh, that must be the server restarting. Well, we got close. We got close to buzzing the tower. What can I say? All right, everybody. That's probably going to be it for me tonight. That was a good run. Couple of good hours of flight simulating. We will be back this weekend. We're going to be doing, again, like I said, a large-scale training mission, so there will be a lot of people flying around with us. Feel free to hop on stream and watch. Should be a lot of fun. It's definitely going to be more fun with more people on the radio, not just me talking to myself the whole time. But yeah, should be good. I will probably also be playing Half-Life Alyx most likely tomorrow night after my cook-along. So if you guys are interested in learning some fun cooking stuff, please come and join me and watch. We're going to be making breakfast for dinner and possibly grilled cheese. A lot of fun, pretty easy things to cook, and help you level up your game a little bit. So hope to see you there. If not, have a great night, have a great weekend. I'll see you the next time.